Try some. Oh, may I? Oh my god, it's so good.
It actually is pretty good, isn't it?
Pretty fabulous, yeah. But cocktails with queens.
This cocktail, of course, based off of Pheromone, who went home last week, unfortunately.
Oh.
And we're calling it the highlight, because y'all know how she does her makeup beautifully.
It does look like her.
So, ice to the brim. Then you just do 2 teaspoons of sugar, because she's so sweet. And then 2 shots of gin, a shot of lemon juice, and just the rest is just soda water. And then you just like shake the shit out of it. Like you just like martini shake it till it like you feel like it can't be shaken anymore. Till your arm gets tired. And
Shaken, not stirred, huh?
Yeah, very much so. Because you want a little bit of the ice to melt. And then we used a grenadine and sugar rim, as it makes it a little sweeter. Really good. It just has a nice sort of like airy, light, almost summery flavor to it.
Yeah, I'd say so. It tastes like trouble. It's good.
You can't taste the gin, and there's a lot of gin in it, so that's exciting. Anyway, tonight's episode, episode 9 of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 9.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, 9s all around, dressed to the 9s. Let's start with their pilots.
Okay.
We obviously saw them filming them as well, so, you know, we have a little...
Right.
I have some backstory with that and, like, how that went, because I actually really enjoyed watching Nina and Tina, or Valentina, doing their... like, I guess, improv. I mean,
Yeah.
It was such a hot mess, and it was fun. It was so funny, but it was funny for all the wrong reasons, because you could tell the final product was not going to be good, and it wasn't.
I agree with you. I thought it was funny, too. I thought it was funnier the more times I watched it, surprisingly. I think that their main downfall was not coming with a plan, really, because they ran all over the place with it. I thought they were still pretty funny overall, you know, not just their antics, but... I mean, I just feel like, okay, they were that funny with Squint Improv. How funny could they have been had they planned something? Properly. It's difficult enough to improv at any point, but in front of Carson and Michelle, like, it's going to be any easier for you. Right. That's just bad planning. So.
Yeah. But they were charming. They were funny. They ended up, spoiler alert, they ended up in the bottom 2. We'll get to that in a moment because I have a whole another series of notes on that. But... yes, I think it was well-deserved. The performance was not good.
No.
The final product, rather, was not good.
Yeah.
Again, it was just funny for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, especially compared to the other 2 teams. So, another pairing we had was Shay and Sasha. And, you know, they got to choose their teams this week. So, of course, they went together. They really like each other.
Yeah, they get along really well.
And they're a great team. They ended up winning the challenge. So, clearly, they have a really great chemistry. I thought their show was the funniest of them all. So
oh, for sure.
They definitely deserved the win.
Every fucking line was a joke, like, and they delivered it really, really well. Like, there wasn't a single, like, moment, like, dull moment in the entire thing.
No.
The concept was super funny. The execution of the characters was hilarious.
Yeah.
They just really killed it, I thought. And it wasn't even, like, a cliche concept or anything, either. It was, like...
it was a little cliche, but...
You laughing at Nova rubbing on the tripod?
Yeah, the way his teeth were, like... Our cat just had his teeth on the one leg of the tripod, so we're gonna move on because he's moved on.
Cohesion of the fashion, the actual like chemistry of the jokes, it all just like went really well, which is why they won.
Yeah,
that's the second time they've won
together.
Yeah,
that's
what
crazy.
I thought. Which leads us, might as well talk about the final team and kind of just some notes there. But honestly, Alexis's and Peppermint's too performance were just really flat by comparison to Trinity. Trinity killed it. Like. She just really is so good at like getting out of her comfort zone and not being afraid to like push it, like because she wants this so bad.
Yeah, she does that over and over.
She definitely continues to rise to the occasion. But as between those 2 of that team, aside from Trinity, I felt like Alexis was a little weaker, but not by that much.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think her performance really read that much weaker when watching the video back, like the judges said. I didn't feel it. I felt like her and Peppermint were the same. Trinity obviously stuck out for a lot of obvious reasons, but I mean,
Alexis just annoying me this episode in general, throwing her teammates under the bus and everything like she did. She's just like clearly not happy with how she's performing and kind of seems to be looking for not an out, but like she needs somewhere to put that.
Yeah. Well, she's frustrated, so.
Pressed. Yeah, speaking of being pressed and frustrated, Nina is really annoying the shit out of me with whenever the bottom two were announced and she said that she called me Miss Cleo and everything. It just felt like so self-sabotage. Yeah, I mean, you did a shitty job, but you being yeah, obviously your chances of being the bottom were really high.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make you Miss Cleo, bitch. You just fucking didn't do well.
I mean, and they also talked about it, during Untucked, too, about, Shay and Sasha did, about, Nina being so standoffish, ungrateful, conspiracy theorist about, the show and her, and, it's just too much, and, it just seems like she's really overwhelmed with everything, and doesn't trust anyone, and she'll get into her head, and
she has a lot of personal issues that are definitely leaking into the competition, but
absolutely
she keeps rising just enough to kind of get by. I guess.
The interest in her is what keeps them there, because I'm definitely interested.
And the runways have been great too.
Yeah, let's get to the runways real quick. They had the Club Kid inspired runway tonight, which I already called that one because from the teaser I saw clips of when froze it, and I'm like, okay, it looks very Club Kid when I saw Peppermint's gig. So I was so excited to see Peppermint finally get to wear that. I'll go through my favorites real quick of the looks. Peppermint was my third favorite probably. I thought it was so fun. I love a concept in the camp.
With their name
and the branding, the one guest judge said. I thought that was awesome. I also loved Trinity's surprise by her. I mean, she said Club Kid is not something she's even done before, so she really turned the party. She turned it out, just like you said. She does rise to the occasions,
And like Michelle said, I do feel like hers was one of the most quote unquote Club Kid looks, classic Club Kid when you think of it, which actually brings me to mind of Valentina's. I thought hers was really cool, as far as, it wasn't necessarily my favorite, but
yeah,
it was definitely Club Kid / editorial for me. It was both.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there was anything wrong with her being more, I guess, it almost seems like did she not push it far enough? Is that what, Michelle was getting at?
I think it's because she's so beautiful, and, they just read it as, fashion. I mean, I guess maybe if she would have done something ugly, then they would have really read. You know what I mean?
Maybe she should have.
Yeah, I mean, that could have saved her enough, you know? I had one more favorite, which was my favorite overall, was Shay's. I just thought it was so beautiful. I thought it was, similar to Valentina's, where, it was very high fashion, very fashion-based. I still loved it, though. I thought it was so awesome. The commitment to gluing the stuff to her face was too funny.
Terrifying, but yes.
But the styling of that, it was just all so good. She had her little signature lips there. I thought that was fun since she's worn something like that on the runway before.
I do feel like
I love the look.
She could have not wore the swimsuit situation. I feel like we've seen that a couple times.
That silhouette, yeah.
Yeah, that was just kind of similar to some other silhouettes she's done. She just had the face / head piece situation going on. But I mean, she didn't necessarily just win based on her runway either. She won based on the challenge too.
Right.
But she was true to the runway, and I mean, I give her props. I give her props for it. I liked it better than I liked Sasha's. Unfortunately, actually, I didn't like Sasha's silhouette. I thought it looked kind of unfinished. Or kind of cheap almost in the way the hip came out, basically right below the waist. It just seemed like it was something weird with the sewing. I don't know what happened, but honestly, I really do think Valentina's was my favorite.
Really?
And bam, here we are, bottom two, Valentina and Nina. So I guess it wasn't that great on stage, or didn't resonate that well with the judges, or the performance was really just that shitty to them. This was a really emotional runway, or really emotional lip sync for me. I really, really like Valentina. I definitely saw her as top 3. And being one of those ones that never ended up in the bottom, and there she is
paired with your frustration with Nina.
Yeah, and I'm very frustrated with Nina because I do feel like she just really needs to get it together or go home. You can't keep doing this. You're not gonna win in your current mind state. But regardless, Valentina did not know the words. She tried to keep her little mask thing on. RuPaul was not having that, which was a pretty cool moment. RuPaul like literally shut it down and was like, "Can you take your fucking mask off? This is a lip sync." I was really disappointed because Valentina did go home then. Not just, I'm sure, from not or keeping the mask thing on, but also just freaking not knowing the words. She didn't know the words. It's so sad. I'm like fucking triggered right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really sad.
It was sad, but like I said before, she's done a lot of beautiful stuff on the show. She's really had a lot of moments to shine. So at least she has that. It's more than a lot.
And
I
know she has a lot of fans. I mean, she has to. Right. She's so sweet of a person. Like she has even
awesome drag.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a great queen, a great person overall, and I really wish her the best, and I really look forward to seeing her sometime, like, at a show. Like, of all the queens, she's, like, the one I would want to see most so far. I think that this is a good time to discuss who we think our top 3 is now, because before Valentina was in mine, and now this has kind of, like, shook it up a little bit. So, do you know who you think for yours?
Well, Valentina was also in mine as most likely.
I feel like ours are probably the same right now.
Probably are. I'm thinking Shay, Sasha, and Trinity. Yeah, Trinity.
Exactly. That's mine too. I think that freaking Valentina going home left that open to where Trinity can now just like fucking swoop in there, and she does deserve it. So I don't necessarily want her to win. I really do want Sasha to win. She's still my favorite overall, like overall package. But that's a solid top 3 right there, honestly.
I mean, the only 2 I could not see winning at all, honestly, and I feel that like this is the shady shade of it all. Yeah, rattlesnake. Is Nina, obviously. Right. Sorry, everyone, but I'm going to say Nina Bonina. Unless she has some grand transformation, which she could. She has a storyline to have a transformation.
That is true, actually.
But I don't see that for her. I'm just going to say that.
We'll see.
And Alexa Michelle, I certainly do not see that for her either.
Correct.
And even she doesn't even have the low point to rise into the storyline. No. She has just like a plateau the whole time, I feel. Yeah. So, but I mean, I think Peppermint.
Jordan, have you watched the show?
Yeah, exactly. I still think Peppermint has a chance. I still think she's charming enough and is like such a legend and turns the party. True. And is funny and and can be messy. Like she can. I think she has the goods, but she's like my 4th place.
Yeah, I agree.
But I still think she has a chance.
Yeah, I'm definitely not counting anyone out yet. But of the 2 or of the 3 people we mentioned, those other 2
like our top 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, thank you to all our viewers. Catch us next week for another episode of
Cocktails with Motherfucking Queens, bitch!